LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
Hello, everybody. Darrell Owens, LegacyMaker Sports Network. We are here today to bring you our top 5 Redskin rookies that are going to make an impact coming into the 2019 season. And, of course, with me, as always, the man, myth, an absolute legend, the NCAA expert, the NFL expert here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network, Jay Quimby. Jay, what's up, brother?
Not much, man. Just, football season. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost there. It's June. It doesn't seem like it, but we're about a month away from training camp.
OTAs are there. Everything's getting started. I mean, yes.
And the countdown's on. I think we're like 86, 85 days out. People are starting to bring out their jerseys. And, I saw the Bears jersey the other day, and I said, but, that's another story for another day.
It's all right.
But I like them, though. They're pretty nice.
People don't like winning teams. That's the way it works.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and break down the top 5 rookies that we think are going to have an impact this year. And the first one we're going to talk about is a guy that they drafted with that second first-round pick in Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat, we talked about before how he's probably going to be a replacement for Mr. Preston Smith, who's now in Green Bay. What are your thoughts, and what type of impact will Montez Sweat make this year?
He could be the steal of the draft, to be honest. I mean, this man was the workout warrior, 6'6", ran a 4.440. I mean, fast, beyond fast. Right now on the Redskins depth chart, they got him behind Ryan Anderson. I don't see that lasting long at all. Just because Ryan Anderson, 2 years, he's played 17 games, 2 sacks. That's it, 2 sacks. I know he's got people in front of him, but if you take Sweat and you were to reverse roles, I think Sweat would have been starting above Smith.
Right. But see, another thing about Anderson was a second-round pick, and, most people's eyes, a second-round pick is normally a starter or somebody who makes an impact. And, he's not quite there. But this is a big year for Ryan Anderson, like you said. He's really going to have to step up his game this year.
Well, with being a second-round pick, this could be, basically is a make-breaker year. Because the other thing you got on the other side is Ryan Kerrigan. He getting up there in age. They paid him a lot of money. He deserved it, but the production is starting to drop.
Yeah, I mean, and they're going to have that impact player for the future, and Montez Sweat could be that guy. Now let's talk about another impact player on defense, especially has had a fantastic training camp so far, and that's Jimmy Moreland. Jimmy Moreland coming out of James Madison has been phenomenal. What are your thoughts on Jimmy Moreland and the impact he could bring?
Besides Adderley that went to the Chargers, Moreland has the best ball skills of any of the secondary players that I've scouted, at least. I really thought he would be a 3rd round, 4th round, not a 5th rounder. I know, James Madison is a small school, but the mad ball skills.
I mean, you're right, and for them to get him so late in the draft, our man Russ Telefero had him in our mock draft as a sleeper pick, but he looks like he could be a huge steal for the Washington Redskins. He's had 4 interceptions so far in training camp. He's made it look good, and the coaches said they love his ball skill and how he's just always at the football. He's really a huge impact, especially if the ball is tipped. He's right there. His quickness, his speed is going to go a long way for the Washington Redskins. Now, our third impact player is on that O-line, and Mr. Wes Martin from Indiana, who's coming in. The Redskins needed depth at that position, but let us know about the impact that Wes Martin could have this year.
The issue is, they addressed the guard position because, they had like 16 some different starting combinations on that line last year. So if you do, that's one every game that you're starting different. And, they go get Wes Martin, but they also bought Eric Flowers in, moved him from tackle to guard. Now, Martin's a mauler. He doesn't have the greatest technique all the time. He can get beat sometimes with bull rush, but he's solid, very strong, very durable, played every game in college. the thing is, though, with Flowers, he might end up going back outside because of the holdout that we have going on with Mr. Williams.
Now, I know Trent Williams, and this is a little bit off topic, but let's talk about it. We're talking Washington Redskins here. Trent Williams, this situation is a little bit it's really crazy right now. Then he's vowed, and at least the word is out there that he's vowed that he'll never play for the Redskins again. And if that's the case, what are your thoughts on that? And if he doesn't play for the Redskins, where could you see a guy like Trent Williams could go where the Redskins can get value for him?
Well, that's the main thing, is getting value, because after the Le'Veon Bell situation, and then Antonio Brown doing his thing, it shows that the players have more power now. They can boycott. I don't know if Le'Veon's going to come back and still be what he was before.
Right.
But Williams you could actually see him go to a rival right there to the Giants.
I'm going to tell you my team, and I thought about this long and hard. They're going to need a team that I think could use him would be a team like Arizona. You got a guy in, Kyler Murray, who, yes, he can move around, but you want a veteran guy who can come in and maybe protect the young guy. I can see him going to a team with a younger quarterback where they got this veteran experience that he can come in and maybe be a pretty solid piece for him. But Arizona, I think that would be a good spot for him. Now, I don't know if they'd be able to give him the value, but that'd be a good spot.
He's also just looking to get paid, too.
Yeah, it's a combo package going on here.
The other thing, let's see, I'm just trying to check out. Well, they brought in Marcus Gilbert, and they have DJ Humphries, so they got a couple guys that they have invested in there at Arizona. But you never know. Oakland still got money to spend. I know they gave a lot of money to Mr. Brown.
But you never can go wrong.
But last year in the first round, they got the dude out of UCLA. But why not?
Why not?
It's a win now league.
Exactly. So let's switch back to impact rookies here. Now, we went through Sweat, Moreland, and Martin, but let's talk about the offense a little bit more of the offense here, and let's talk about that receiving core. You got Terry McLaurin. I always say his name a little bit. McLaren. I'm working on that. So McLaren, and then Harmon. They've had a really impressive camp, and you can see the connection between Haskins and McLaren, and it's a good thing the Washington Redskins made this move, but Harmon hasn't been too shabby himself.
Well, the thing I said before about McLaren on our last one is McLaren is more of a teacher than a student. He took and absorbed everything Brian Hartline could give him as his wide receiver coach. And he can run any route. He understands what he has to do. And that will rub off on everybody else. He says when he's done with football, he wants to be a coach. But you automatically have a leader right there offensively on the field. And they have him slotted as an outside receiver and moving Richardson inside to the slot. But McLaren across the middle could be nasty. And then you put, Harmon dropped. He was rated as a first or second round guy before the combine. And then he ran that slow 40. 40's not always about it.
No.
Look at, Jerry Rice wasn't the quickest man on best receiver ever.
He's just a GOAT. There's nothing too shabby about that.
So,
and of course, we got to finish up properly. And this one's going to be pretty easy for those Redskin fans out there. But your last impact guy comes from the quarterback position.
Oh yes, Dwayne Haskins. You watched it. You and another one of our colleagues went and watched, rookie OTAs, their mini camp. He just looked so smooth, in sync. I know they got a couple guys ranked ahead of him. I think if they don't give it to Haskins, there's got to be a problem there. Haskins is ready to win now. He's got the chip on his shoulder. Give it to him. Give him the keys to the car and see what he does.
I will say this. If they don't start him, I think me and you both said before, we thought week 5, week 6, I'm in my book, I said the Patriot game, which is a really rough one to start off with, but I think that if he is not starting week 1, he will be starting by week 5, and I think that game will be huge. It'll be a home game, and so. But that's the vibe that I'm getting. But Haskins has looked phenomenal. He threw a pass in camp to McLaren that was just absolutely a dime dropper. 2 defenders. Who cares? I'm going to throw this football. I'm going to make it happen. Dropped it right in his hands. Gorgeous. This team is ready. They've got pieces where they can go out there and possibly shock people in the NFC East. But the question is, can they all come together and can they stay healthy?
Oh, absolutely. They address depth, but they really, it fell to them. You couldn't plan this draft the way it fell to them. They got, Haskins. Nobody saw Haskins fall out of the top 10.
No.
Nobody. They pick him up at 15. Sweat's still there because of the heart thing, which they all found out wasn't really an issue. I mean, I'm pumped about this.
This is why people say the Redskins had the best draft, and I think most experts, including ourselves, have said this is the Redskins' best draft they've had in a long time because they've had some miserable ones, and this one right here it looks like they've hit the hammer right on the head.
Jay Gruden needs to get it figured out this year, or Jay Gruden will be job shopping next
year.
Well,
Jay Gruden has said multiple times during camp that he knows that if I don't make the playoffs this year, he's not going to be back next year.
Pace with Alex Smith is a great game managing quarterback. Dwayne Haskins is a game changing quarterback.
Well, we're going to see. Once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in for the Legacy Maker Sports Short. Redskin top 5 rookies that are going to make an impact this season. I'm Darrell Owens, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. Until next time, y'all take care.
Peace.